So let me just ask you, so you're this board certified MD, very well qualified, I know, and which is a very conventional background, but you're saying here that, symptoms are not like obstacles and something we should fight. They're actually messages from the body. So
Yeah.
let me just ask you, what led you to this understanding?
It's probably a longer journey than you really want to hear, but I have always wanted to do holistic medicine. When I was first considering what I was going to do after undergrad, I found that I was interested in the mind and the body and how we organized information, how we processed the world around us. And I thought maybe I would go into neuroscience or something like that. But medicine made the most sense. It was the kind of straightest path. But I always had this desire to understand our drive. And, I grew up reading stories about these mystics and these gurus who could walk across hot coals and not get burned, and these Tibetan monks who would heat up in sitting in meditation in the frozen tundras, heating up sheets, and drying wet sheets with their body heat, and thinking there's got to be something more, right? I studied functional medicine, integrative medicine. I learned about environmental toxins and mold, and I'm seeing usually the sickest of the sick, mast cell patients with all sorts of complex chronic illness. And what I would find is that we would do the physical stuff, the biochemistry, the things based on biology, and incorporating all the science and the supplements and the medications, and they would get so far.
Mm.
And then we had to go deeper. There was like a block between where they were and where they wanted to be. They would be 50% better, 70% better, but they couldn't jump over that threshold until we started to look inside. Look at the thoughts, look at the belief patterns, look at how they were perceiving themselves on this whole journey and perceiving their bodies, especially. And so, what I came to realize was that our bodies are the means through which our intuition communicates with us.
Mm.
Whether we call that our soul or our intuition, our spirit, however you want to think about it, whatever, belief system works for you, that spirit, that part that enlivens us, communicates through our bodies because it doesn't really have a whole lot of other ways to communicate, especially if we're not listening to our inner voices, our intuition, right? And what we have done is we've decided that our bodies are against us, particularly when we feel sick, right?
Mm.
My body is failing me. My body is not doing what I want. I want to have energy. I want to be,
This is
have pain.
basically what the approach of mainstream medicine. Yeah, this the whole thing
Yes,
built on that. Big
exactly,
pharma
exactly. It's
driving
all
that.
about it's all about our bodies are against us, right? But if our bodies are actually us, hey, hello, wake up. Our bodies are us. There's no distinction between our bodies and ourselves, and yet we talk about it, we think about it as if our bodies are separate from our will or our being somehow. And I hear this a lot of times, with patients, and how they talk about their bodies and how their bodies are this separate entity. So part of the most important reframe, the foundational reframe, is to recognize that your body is not against you. In fact, it is doing absolutely everything in its power to protect you, to communicate with you, to help you be in alignment with yourself.
Yes. Okay. So let me just play devil's advocate a moment
Sure.
and ask you, because you said our bodies are how our intuition communicates with us. But like, so what? I mean, our intuition, why is that important? I mean, like for many people, they're not interested in their intuition. They're interested in earning more money, having owning more things, going on holiday. Why is intuition important?
That's a very good question. I do think, I mean, obviously, I'm making some presumptions, but I do think that when we incarnate in these bodies, we have a purpose. Our beings have a purpose, and life is the school through which we get to learn the lessons that we need to in order to achieve our purpose, right? And, you know, for the people who have ever been, who I think, so the first question is, do we really believe in there's a soul or a spirit? And what
Mm,
I would offer to the people who are like, I'm not sure, is if you've never seen a dead person, that would be something to see because we can absolutely tell the difference between somebody who has passed, and somebody who is alive.
mm.
They look very, very different. There is something that animates us. There's something that is that spark, right?
Yes.
And
Which
I
we kind
think
of taking for granted.
we're absolutely taking for granted. But,
Yeah.
for those of whom are like, I think, this is it, and then we die. Okay, well, even if that's the case, there's something that's in you that's sparking you, that's breathing you, that's having this aliveness in you that is different than when people pass. You don't have to believe in God. You don't have to believe in anything else. If you do, great. It makes this whole conversation so much easier, right? If you believe in something bigger than yourself. But if you don't, at least we can talk about the difference between somebody who's alive and somebody who's dead. We can tell that difference. So there's something in us that is alivening us, that is that spark, and that we can call our intuition, our our source, our spirit, our, you know, from my perspective, that's our soul. And I believe that we come into this plane of existence for a reason, and we have an objective, that and things that we want to learn, and and things that we are here to do, more
Mm,
importantly, things that we are here, a type of person we are here to be. So that's another big assumption, is that we're here for a purpose. And I think that the body and the intuition are guiding us on that journey towards our purpose.
yes.
And when we don't listen, the body has to turn up the volume. Here's my analogy. If you have a young child, maybe they're 2 or 3, and that, so the analogy is the body is the child, right? The child is saying, hey, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, pay attention to me. And what do we usually do? We look down, we pay attention, we listen, we comfort that child if they need it. But what we're doing to our bodies, when our bodies are saying, hey, hey, pay attention, we're saying, shut up, kid, and go away, stop bothering me. You're, you're getting in my way.
Mm,
We are really completely missing the boat. and
yeah.
and what we're supposed to be doing, I think, and and dismissing our bodies and dismissing the messages completely because we have this assumption that our bodies are not on our side.
Dr. Kelly McCann, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you for having me.
A pleasure, a pleasure. And this interview and all my interviews are in the EMF Experts Solutions Club with transcripts. Until next time, my name is Lloyd Burrell from electricsense.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.